Bishop Rick Thomas, excited to be back with you today. We're going to be sharing over the next several weeks about our new book called 7 Steps to Abundance. I was out the other week and I was talking to another pastor and he said to me, abundance. He says, what do you mean by abundance? I said, you have to understand the word abundant means to overflow. It means more than enough. It is an overflow mindset. John 10:10 said, the thief cometh not before to steal, to kill, and to destroy. But I've come that you might have life, and you might have it more abundantly. You might have the life of God. The word life there is Zoe. It's the very essence of being of God himself, the presence of God. That you might have the presence of God until it overflows your life. It's an overflow mindset. And so when we talk about abundance, we're talking about abundance in every area of your life, spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, in every area of your life, relationship-wise, that you have an overflowing presence of God that brings about, if you will, success in your life. Jesus did not die on the cross for you not to have success in your life. He died on the cross that you might have life, you might have it more abundantly till it overflows, that you might be an identification of who Christ is. The Bible says this, that by the fruits that we bear, people will identify us. Now, we cannot be judged by those fruits, but it says we can be identified by those fruits. And I need to understand, the world's looking for answers today. When you look around today, you look at the political system, you look at the economic system, when you look even the educational mindset of people are struggling today. People are not where they want to be, and they're not living in that overflowing life that God intended for them to do. The Bible says that mankind was created in the image and likeness of God. The first thing God said to mankind is, number one, I want you to guard and protect the garden, which means it represents what is God's. We guard and protect the Word. We guard and protect the presence of God, the purpose of God, the design of God. But after he said you move in that position of protecting my kingdom, in other words, my dynamic of my kingdom, he says, now I want you to be fruitful, I want you to multiply, and I want you to replenish. I want you to be about the business of being productive in your life. Not only producing just to be fruitful, in other words, let's bear fruit. He says, I want you then to multiply that fruit. He says, but once you do that, he says, I want you to replenish. In other words, God's mindset is that you're going to be able to enjoy the things that you produce, according to the writer of Ecclesiastes. He said that if we produce it, if we grow it, then we should be able to partake of that harvest, partake of that harvest that came into our life. On the other side of the coin, though, he says you have to replenish. You have to put back what you've taken out. So there's always more than enough wherever you go. The concept of the book, 7 Steps to Abundance, is to teach you and to help encourage you and hopefully motivate you not to settle for the normalcy of life. God never called you to be normal. He called you to be more than a conqueror. He called you to be above and not below. He called you to be a person that is seated in the presence of God and next to Jesus, that we're seated with him in heavenly places, and he called us to walk in authority. In other words, we were designed by God not only to produce abundance, but to live in abundance. I am so excited. Over the next several weeks, we're going to be able to share with you the principles of how you can be everything that God has called you to be.